Hello, everyone. My name is Derek Backer, and I would like to take the time today to introduce you to someone very near and dear to my heart, my father, Mike Backer, who is running for a school board position on the Community Unit School District 303. Dad, first of all, why don't you give us a little bit of background about yourself and take us through why you're running for the school board?
Thank you, Derek. I appreciate that introduction. Well, as you know, we have lived in the St. Charles area in the Fox Valley here for close to 27 years now. And during that time, we've had an opportunity to be a part of the school district in a very active way. The four of you, with your mom, Amy, went through our school district from kindergarten through 12th grade. And so you are the benefactors of just a wonderful, well-rounded education in this district. And then after your mom passed in 2010, a number of years later, Colleen, my wife, and I got married, and we have two additional children who are currently in the school district now, and they are in grades 1 and 3 at Davis School and Fearson Creek School, respectively. So we are definitely rooted and a big part of the St. Charles community. Personally, I've had a close to 40-year career in education that's been, I think, diverse and certainly well-rounded. I've had the opportunity to work at all the different age levels from elementary, middle school, and high school. I've been a teacher, I've been a coach, I've been an administrator, and I've been a community member, during that time and in that process. I started out as a special educator, and I've also taught English and social studies and physical education. I've coached a number of sports, including soccer and basketball and cross country in the community. And I've also had the opportunity to, as I was mentioning, be an administrator. So I've been a teacher and an administrator, so I've seen kind of both sides of that as well. So currently, I just recently retired from that career in education, but I've taken on a position now. I'm the coordinator of community partnerships for the Valley Sheltered Workshop in Batavia, and I'm loving it because it kind of brings me back to my original roots of working with people with special needs, and I'm assisting them into getting meaningful and productive employment in the Fox Valley area. So that's something that I think has been just a calling for me here as I've retired from my career in public education. So
Yeah. And it sounds like, a confluence between your teaching and administration career has also brought you a perspective that, not too many people have gotten a chance to have. I mean, that's something you've been right there with the students, but also in a much more administering. What kind of, what was that transition like, and how do you think that reflects, into running for the school board? Is this do you see this as the next evolution, or?
I appreciate that question, Derek, and I think we're at a critical time in education. I really do. I think as our students, our parents, our teachers, support staff, and our administrators and everybody, as we've gotten back into regular school programming after the pandemic, the worldwide health crisis that we've had, I think that there's more of a need than ever before to really support the education program in our community. I think that pandemic, unfortunately, may have polarized us a little bit, creating some animosity in some circles, and some bad feelings about exactly how things were being handled and so on. And I think as a parent, as an educator, and certainly as a community member, I think I have the level of experience and empathy to now join in and become a part of the school board and have a good understanding about what's needed, where we're at this point in time and where we need to go. And so that's something that I really would like to be able to do. to kind of, if you will, give back to this community. I mean, our school board and our school system, as you know, Derek, has really given a lot to our family, my colleagues, you know, community members, and certainly myself too. And I'd like to be able to give back to that. I think I'm one who will listen to perspectives that people have. I think I'm one who can build relationships. I'm one who looks for common ground, collaboration in situations, certainly wanting to come up with some interventions that are strategic and positive, and then also monitoring to make sure that those things are going well. And who are the benefactors of that kind of approach? It's our students. So I just think it's a time for me now to enter in and contribute to our community by running for the school board.
Yeah, and I would say you already have contributed, given that you have been in the district before.
I appreciate
you were at Davis
that,
Elementary, and I know you were speaking on your experience in the district, and that stems all the way back to Davis Elementary as you were principal. And now walk me through this, because and then you were at North with me for a little while.
Right.
St. Charles North as an assistant principal there for a couple years.
Yes.
Before shifting ultimately to St. Charles East to become not only a teacher again, but then a cross-country coach.
Yeah.
And I know you took great joy and pride in that.
I
What
did.
was the coaching experience? How did that help you learn more about the kids that you will now serve in the school district here?
Well, I think that that's a good question, and I think that I found that it's very important to support children to have a well-rounded education. And I think that we're very fortunate living in the Fox Valley, and in particular in District 303, because we offer those opportunities for our kids. Certainly we're a school district that offers a lot academically, but you're referring to the coaching aspect. We offer a lot in extracurriculars as well. Our athletic programs are second to none in terms, again, the balance and opportunity for kids to participate. Our music programs are Grammy award-winning programs, and they're nationally known in terms of presenting opportunities there. We have so many different clubs and organizations that students can get involved with. And another area that I think is very important is this ability for our kids to link into various agencies within our community too, whether it be the library, whether it be city council, whether it be the park district programs, and making those connections as well. So I think that opportunity is one word that really comes to mind. And I see that our kids throughout this community have had that, on both sides of the river, so to speak.
Both sides of the river.
Right.
Which is a common, I think, at times can be pretty playful, but also a little bit serious rivalry between the schools there. So, and I think it's important to note here that you have a foot in both fires, if you will, of St. Charles North and East. So you do not have a bias.
That is correct.
Can I confirm that?
You can confirm that. There is absolutely no bias. We're here for all of the students in all of our communities.
Great. Well, Pop, I was wondering if you could also go into maybe some of your qualifications for this role. What, from your own personal higher education standpoint to some of your experience, perhaps, some of the qualifications you have?
Well, I think that I offer a very diverse experience background. When I first came into the community, I came in as a parent. I was working in another school district at that point, and so I truly was one who got immersed in whether it be parent-teacher organizations or various councils and various district forums that discussed what's necessary for moving education forward in our district. So I have that parent perspective, and I have some skin in the game right now. I've got two kiddos who are currently in the school system, as I mentioned before, at Davis and Fearson Creek, and celebrating the fact that my four older children all had outstanding education, very successful education programs, going kindergarten all the way through, finishing in high school here. So I think that's been very beneficial. The other hat I wear, I think, is pretty obvious. I worked 14 years in the St. Charles schools. Again, from both sides of the desk, so to speak, as we were just talking about. Having been an administrator coming in and being a principal at Davis Elementary, having the opportunity to be at St. Charles North, and then finishing my career at St. Charles East as a coach and teacher, I think, have been very fulfilling and have really given me an opportunity to see how things operate. From that perspective as a teacher, and recognizing what our support staff and our teaching staff does in the community. I come in also as a stakeholder in the sense of being a community member as well. I'm a taxpayer in the community. I think it's very important that we become responsible, very fiscally aware school board members too, so that we know that we work within our budget. We provide the resources that are necessary for our kids, but within a reasonable, rational manner. And so I think that's important as well as a community member. So I really do think that I bring, again, repeating that, the diversity of experience.
So, Dad, I'd also like to ask you about some topics related to education in the district that are particular interest to you. Maybe some topics that also you want to explore further, want to learn more about yourself as you take on a position on the school board.
Yeah, there are a couple areas, Derek, that I think are going to be really important, in the coming months and years, certainly within our district and really across the country. One of the things that I think is critically important, once again, going to the focus of why we're all here and at the core of why we're all here, and it is meeting the needs of all of our students, and within that, meeting the needs of the whole child. It's more than just an academic focus. There's got to be a mental health focus. There's got to be social and emotional gains and strengths, intellectual development. All these things are critically important right now in a community that is inclusive, that you're looking to meet the needs of all of our students. As you know, you've got two younger brothers who have autism, and they're both students here within our school district. They are recipients of incredible programming. I mean, I just could not be any more pleased as a parent, as a taxpayer, as a former educator in the district, to see the kinds of work that the teachers and support staff are doing for your brothers. And Rory and Brogan are benefit factors of that, because I think our school district really does believe in meeting the needs of all kids. And I think it becomes important to not only continue that, but even taking it up a notch, because I think that, we're finding that based on we're coming out of the pandemic, that there are more needs for kids in terms of counseling and again, dealing with mental health issues. Again, the social emotional piece is always very important that we're dealing with, along with, of course, the intellectual and academic growth. And we have a tradition here of being a very high academic achieving school district. So I think all those things will come together. The second issue that I think is really important right now, and it's a national issue, but it's happening right here in our district, is the not only recruitment but retaining of quality teachers and support staff. There's a teacher shortage. It's a known fact. And what we need to do is we need to take steps necessary to support good induction of teachers as well as sustaining their careers. And one of the things I think we should do as a school district is really lay out the welcoming mat and let them know that we want you to be a part of our program. We want you to be part of our team. We're offering competitive salaries. We're offering good working conditions. We're offering certainly benefits and so on that are going to meet your needs and are going to support you. But there's even more than that. It's important that they also feel there's a mentorship and that there's collaboration between the staff members and between the workers. And I think that's how people feel like they want to stay in a position. If they feel like people are working together, if they feel they are being mentored. And then lastly, is monitoring and making sure that those systems are in place, and making sure that those people are continuing to feel welcomed and therefore wanting to stay on and contribute to our district. So I think that's an important situation right now too. And again, going back to the issue of everybody is feeling the effects of inflation and so on. We have to continue to be strong stewards of the financial budget in the school district, and making sure that we have a plan in place, a strategic plan, where we're going to spend resources in an efficient, smart manner, once again, to meet the needs of our students in a very positive and productive manner. So that fiscal piece is incredibly important as well.
So, Dad, I know it is no mystery to you or to I that conflict is a part of human nature. And with that said, as a school member of the school board, I know you will be given the duty to address certain conflicts, whether it be between teachers and the administration and parents, the parents and teachers. There are an innumerable amount of opportunities, if you will, to have certain conflicts. What is your strategy, more broadly speaking, your principled approach to handling conflict and to addressing some of these instances that will inevitably arise and come to your attention as a member of the school board?
Well, one of the things that I think that is really evident is people are passionate about their child's education. And when they have a viewpoint, they are really strong about it. It's their kids, and I see that. Again, with the many hats that I've worn in the district as parent and as an educator as well as a community member, I see the importance of that. So there are going to be times, and sometimes it can be unpleasant, and it's certainly not something to look forward to. But I think there are certain steps that if those steps are taken and followed through on, I think that it helps create a resolution where everyone can be more respectful and mutually understanding of whatever the resolution might be. And I think right on the top of the list of that is by admitting and identifying that there is a problem. I think quite often, some people try to say, "Oh, I'm not really wanting to get into the conflict here." First of all, you have to identify that there is a problem. And once you've identified there is a problem, then you can start looking at, okay, now let's clarify exactly what it is. Let's bring the different ideas together. And this is when people feel they need to be heard. And I think quite often, even if there's, and some people will call it venting, I call it voicing. And it's the opportunity for them to at least let you know what their side is in a situation. And where they're coming from. Again, they're so passionate about their children, they want to let you know how they're feeling. So it's allowing them the opportunity to voice their opinion. The tough part comes right down the middle, in my view, and that is when you are trying to decide on a resolution. I've had a lot of experience in this ability to say, okay, what are some common ground threads here? What are some areas that we can all agree upon going forward? And when I see those threads and when I'm able to connect that, it creates collaboration. It creates a respect that people start feeling like, hey, I'm being heard, and I can agree on this matter because not only am I being heard, but also, it's systematic in the way that we're going about a resolution here. And then once the resolution has been found, it's very important to follow through, because it's still possible that there could be some hard feelings, there could be some adverse effects, and you certainly want to address those, and you want to see if you can bring those to resolution as well. So you continue to monitor the situation going forward. But there are some very clear approaches that need to be taken when those things occur, because it is inevitable. It's going to happen in education. There are some differences in opinion.
So, Pop, I know we've talked a lot about your experience as well as how you may handle conflicts that may arise and will certainly arise, as well as some of the approaches that you hope to continue taking in throughout your career and introducing into your position here if you were to be elected to the school board. From a standpoint of what you take to heart and what maybe you take great pride in, could you maybe give us some threads of what you take pride in our schools, in the school district 303?
Well, thank you, Derek, for taking the time today. First of all, I appreciate that very much. And I learned something when I was at St. Charles East. I had previously been a principal at Davis, and students who were in my school and in their elementary years, in some cases, had now moved up to the high school. And I saw growth in them. You know, in some cases they were in my class. In some cases they were on my cross-country team. In some cases I just saw them in the hallway or at study hall. But it was all a factor of this idea that, you know, growth happens over time, and this maturity level that we see going through our excellent programs here in our school district is not something that should be taken for granted. And, you know, kids would come up and we would talk about their growth and how they appreciated what went on in the elementary level. And they even showed me pictures, myself included in some of the pictures. And then, you know, obviously being juniors or seniors now. And where I'm going with that is, you know, probably the greatest pride in our community is, you know, our students who then finish their program and go on and graduate and then go on to, you know, their careers. We want to help them become successful, well-rounded, contributing members of not only their community but society overall. And, you know, we've got a great opportunity to do that as school board members to support that growth. One of the wonderful things that I see, and I've seen it a number of times, is when graduates actually come back as alumni, and they've either come back to mentor our students. In some cases, they are professionals now. They're teachers here in our school. They're coaches here in our school. Sometimes they're just presenters. But they come back and they mentor and help and support our kids. And I think it's wonderful to see that. You know, you yourself, Derek, are the benefactor of, you know, going through our programs from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. And then after you graduated, going on to college and being successful in your own right. And, you know, I just love seeing that. And I think we should celebrate that. I think that's the point of pride in a school district, is seeing our graduates finish and then go on to great things.